Alright. Hi guys, my name's Jake Meeking and I'm going to attempt today to just teach you a major scale on a guitar. Just a major scale. Now some of you may already know a major scale, you might know all your scales on a guitar, that's totally cool, but stick with me for a minute, okay? We're going to take the major scale and really learn how to use it as a tool, okay? So we're going to use this is the plan, we're going to use this for chord building, we're going to learn some formula and build some chords with this stuff. We're going to build harmonies, harmonized scales. We're going to be able to build our modes from this. We're going to be able to improvise from this, write songs from this, assess and analyze other songs, and just really get a real good look into music on the whole. But what we're going to do, because we're guitarists, is we're going to put it on our guitar, we're going to make it practical and, dare I say, a little bit fun. Maybe. I don't know. I'm geeking out a bit about this. I use the major scale for everything. It's how I think about music. It's where I'm centered whenever I think about music because I always compare back to that major scale. That's what I want you guys to achieve today. So get really confident with how to play it, how to make sense of it on here, and to kind of learn the why. Otherwise there's no point. And we'll make sure it's kind of quick paced and practical. Alright? We can start to apply it. Nice. Okay, so we're going to play in the key of C to start. There's no sharps or flats, it's easier for me to talk about, alright, it's just simple. The notes of our C major scale are as follows. We're just going to go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. See how that's easy to talk about, right? No sharps or flats. Alright, so we're not going to talk about it in terms of notes though, to make it even easier again. We're going to talk about numbers, we're going to talk about finger numbers, and we're going to learn a template so we can move along the neck. Alright, and just change key. It could be X, Y, Z, it doesn't matter. We're going to learn a template and move it. That's all you need to know. Yeah. Okay, let's learn this template then. Okay, 4 fingers. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's keep it to that. Let's number them like that and name them like that. It's just quicker and easier. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to lay our second finger on fret 8 on our low E string for a C. Okay, and I'm going to allocate a finger 1, 3, and 4 either side of finger 2, which is my root note, and that means that finger 1 is allocated to fret 7, finger 2 is allocated to fret 8, finger 3 allocated to fret 9, and finger 4 allocated to fret 10. And what that means is I can just give you a template with fingering numbers, okay? So like this, we're going to go 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to do that again. Play along if you've got a guitar in your hand. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. That gives us 1 octave of a major scale. I've gone root to root in the second octave there. You can hear how that's the same note. Now we need to reach this high C here. Alright? So second octave, let's mix it with the first fingering. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2. Let's run through that again real quick. So starting with fret 8, second finger, first finger, third finger, fourth finger, allocated to their fret so you can't go wrong. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2. Now that may take some of you a little bit of practice because you may not have done it like that before. But you can see that this is a clumsy way of playing that where I'm going to use different fingers. Sure, I'm achieving the notes there, but I feel a little bit out of place there. This is a great technique and a great bit of practice actually. Tag this onto the beginning of your half an hour practice you can do. Turn your amp up loud before you do anything. Run up and down a major scale a few times. I'm alternate picking with my right hand, someone else to talk about at some point. Okay, so hopefully we've started to learn this template then, okay? Now, what's the point? We're going to move this template around. Let's move to the key of G. That's what I want to work in today. So let's take our second finger, which was on a C here on fret 8. We're going to come down to a G on fret 3, okay? Okay, so a quick run through of the G major scale now. Same thing, same template. Fingers 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2. Okay? Remember, it's important to remember that I can move this anywhere. Same shape, that's how we're going to work this, okay? Now, next thing to do, let's understand why we're going to number these in a different way again. Right? We're going to give it some intervals. So I'm going to number my notes of the scale now, 1 through to 7. And start on 8 again and back again. If that makes sense. I'll talk you through it like this. Alright? So I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8's my octave. It's the same note as the first, right? And if I continue going through my scale, I'm going to count the 8 as 1 again because it's my root note. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm counting 2 lots of 8, but doubling the second 8, the first 8, sorry, if that makes sense. Okay. We're not going to start to name the second intervals, the second octave intervals as we should, as higher extensions until we get onto that much later on. For now, we're just going to number 1 through to 7, add an 8, start again. Alright? So what we're going to do is we're going to find our root, our 1, and all we're going to do today is find a major or a minor third with each root note, and we're going to play a linear harmonized scale, and I'll show you some cool exercises you can do with that, alright? So, let's start with our root note, being a G there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to count through my scale until I find my third, the third note of the scale. It's the major scale, so we call it the major third. Check it out. 1, 2, 3. That's my major third. I'm going to play it with my 1. It's just 2 notes together there, okay? That gives me a major third harmony, and it's kind of the building blocks of everything we do, right? Now, I don't want to play it like that today. I think it starts to sound a little bit muddy maybe when we're just using our low octave like that. So I'm going to split it. Now that's what we do on a guitar, on a piano as well. Most of the time when we're performing chords, we're splitting that triad from the root note. So to do so, we need to pick up that third, that major third, or minor third, in the second octave. So remember what I said about starting from that 8, calling that 1? I'll go through like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to recount my 8 as 1, 1, 2, 3. I've now found my second octave major third. I'm going to mix that with my root. Now it starts to sound a little more like a traditional sounding chord, right? There's a divide there, which I think sounds a lot more clear. Alright, so we've now found how to play a major third. Here's how we play a minor third now. Most of you will be aware that most of music is comprised of major chords and minor chords, or happy chords and sad chords, whichever way you want to think about it. You need the yin and the yang, or the black and the white together there to make interesting sounding music, alright? So we're going to learn how to make a minor third from our major third. So we have our major third shape here. I have finger 1 on fret 3 on my low G there, and my second octave third with my third finger on the third string on fret 4. Now some of you may be out there thinking, you're an idiot, you're not using the correct fingering you just told us about. It doesn't matter, we've learned our template, now we're taking it apart, we can do what we want, okay? That's important. If I want to play a minor third, all I'm going to do is just flatten my major third. To flatten it, I'm going to take it down a fret. And you can hear how that's the minor third now coming in, and then lifting back up to that major third. You can hear the difference in sound. Major third, minor third. Alright, cool. So hopefully we're starting to get a grasp on how we can number the scale and use those intervals to build chords. So what we're playing, 1 and major third there. Now what we're going to do, we're going to come back to that in a second. This is where we're going to build an exercise from this, alright? We're going to first of all build a linear G major scale, starting from our 3rd fret on our G. Here's how it sounds. So I've gone from my low G on fret 3 there on my low E string, string 6, and I've gone right up to fret 15 there. That's my other G. So I've done exactly the same scale, just on one string, a linear scale. G up to A, fret 5, that's my tone, tone up to B, semitone up to C, tone up to D, tone to E, tone to F sharp, and semitone to finish back on my G, okay? Now, so real quick for those of you that need to learn that, that's a fret 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14 and 15. Now that 14 and 15, we can take an octave lower if we wish, to fret 2, back to 3 there for our root note G, okay? Right, let's build this harmonized scale. So using that linear scale we just built there, we're going to apply either a major third or a minor third, okay, to each of those root notes, and it will sound like this. Okay, it sounds perfect. We're playing diatonically, all right. So we're just using the exact notes we want. Okay, nothing fancy yet, but we don't need that. This is how 99% of pop songs are written. Okay, so what we're going to do? Chord number 1 is a major chord. That's my root and 2nd octave major third. And remember how we spoke about sinking down that major third, flattening it to make a minor third. We're going to need that for chords 2 and 3. So chords 2 and 3. I use fingers 2 and 3 for this. So that's my root note and a minor third there. Okay. I'm going to pop up to note 3, which is my B, which is 2 a minor chord. Okay. Up a semitone. First finger comes back in to take the root note there. That's how I prefer to play it. And and third finger there for my major third. Let's put those ones together. Sounding good already. Sounds like any song basically already as well. Okay, so let's add the fifth. Okay, so chord 5. It's also a major chord. It's going to be up here on frets 10 and 11. Root and major third. Okay, let's put the first 5 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or G, A minor, B minor, C, D. Add chord 6. Frets 12 and 12. Gives us a nice E minor. Take that up to an F sharp. Minor chord for chord 7 there. We can bring that down an octave, and then we can resolve back to chord 1 there, or up high. Okay, let's run through all 7. We're going to go chord 1, G major, 1, chord 2, A minor, chord 3, B minor, chord 4, C, chord 5, D, E minor for chord 6, and I'm going to go down an octave because I'm playing the acoustic, chord 7, there's an F sharp minor before we resolve back to chord 1, okay? Okay, so let's start to see what we can do with this harmonized scale. And using the template, using the numbers, we're just going to randomly throw out some numbers and see what we come up with. Now this is something you guys can do at home with this. You've learned your harmonized scale, so you can just, I don't know, maybe write down 4 numbers times 3 for an intro, a verse and a chorus, and just see what comes out. 4 numbers basically between 1 and 7. I'm going to do it right now, so we're going to go 1, 4, 5 and back to 1. Let's see how 1, 4, 5, 1 sounds. It's going to sound like this. Okay, cool. It goes somewhere, it comes back and resolves. Nice. Let's talk about some tension. We need to add some tension into our music so that we start to feel some emotion out of that. And if we're going to add some tension, the idea would normally be to resolve. To do that, we want to be resolving to chord 1 mainly. Okay? To add some tension, I could add 7 or a 5. Because it always feels nice coming home. So why not for sequence 2? Why don't we try this? Let's use 2, 3, 7, 1. 2, 3, 7, 1. 2, 3, 7, tension, back to 1 for resolve. Nice. So you can start to see we get a bit of push and pull with the music. We can feel what's going on. Now I'm really being random with this. There are certain cadences, as we call them, that we can apply to music, but that's for another session. All I want you guys to be doing with this is to learn a major scale, which you've done. You've learned a template for it so you can move it around the neck. And then we played it linear. So we've done a lot already. We played it linear, up 1 string. In doing so, we could then add a harmonized note, in this case, a third, a major third, or a minor third. And we put them into sequence, learning that we go major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor, and back to major. And then you can just arrange this how you want. All right? Imagine you're some hotshot songwriter writing a song for Taylor Swift or Ed Sheeran, come up with 4 or 5 different sequences and see how they sound. Now, that's the theory side of things. Then it's about the play and the emotion. If I want to get that Ed Sheeran, John Mayer right-hand bop thing going on there, I can take my sequence, let's go 1, 4, 5 and back to 1, make it sound a bit more like music now. Starts to sound a little more like, I don't know, something you might hear on the radio. Hopefully you see my point with that. Take your major scale, take it apart, build on it, use the intervals, learn those intervals, and we'll start to build some really interesting sequences and chords and scales. Okay, so homework. Learn your scales. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2. We learned a template, we moved it around. We changed to the key of G. We learned a linear scale. We applied intervals, major thirds, minor thirds to our root notes. It sounded like this. We played major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor, back to chord 1 to a major chord to resolve. Okay, and then we can take that and we can write songs. You can write solo parts. You can do so much with it. But we've only done a tiny bit to start with today. Take that, see what you can do, come up with some songs. Any comments below, any questions below, go for it. I could even do video responses to stuff. I'll definitely reply to whatever's there. And I will make sure there's a link below to a file for the scales we've come up with today, and some notes on there about tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, and the fingers we were using as well. So that's that. That's the major scale. It's probably 5% of what we can do with it, or how we can learn it. There's so much to do, but to get deep, all right? I think to try and get an understanding of music, which we don't understand. We don't understand why we get emotionally attached to songs or why it physically gives us goosebumps. It's just a feeling, right, when it's done well. But when you start to learn this major scale and use it as a tool, you can start to see the inner workings of music, and music practically on a guitar as well. And it's just nice to have that upper hand just in general life when you're listening to music, and you can think, oh, I see what you're doing there. I can see why that's making me feel this way, because you've resolved or you built some tension. But at the same time, we're going to really learn the mechanics on the guitar as well. And I think that's a great way to take something like the major scale, which is a bit dull, sounds like a nursery rhyme at first, and just expand your musical horizons with it, alright? So go and learn your major scales, come back, we'll start to put some more stuff together. Alright, thank you very much.